Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Sitting Courtside, episode 35. Like always, my name is Dante,
It's your boy Jerry D, of course.
and we're back talking some NBA playoffs. Last week, we talked about the opening round, the first round, where we were at in some of the series. A week later, we had a few updates. We had a few teams that moved on, a few series that are still going on. So we will jump into that, talk about what's going on there. But first, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, subscribe, check out all the videos on this platform. Our shorts content are the long form content. If you're an audio only listener, thank you. Make sure to give us a 5-star rating, like all that stuff. Follow us on our socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. And yeah, those are the plugs. Jerry, how you doing today, man? We ready to rock and roll? How we feeling?
Yeah, man. It's always a good day in the neighborhood to talk some hoops, talk some basketball, especially when it's playoff related basketball. So good to go, great to go.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we jumped into it last week. We have a few updates here so we can talk about our favorite teams and where they're at right now and some interesting developments over the last week. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just jump right into it. And I kind of mentioned this when we talked about the series last week that I was thinking the Timberwolves were going to sweep the Suns, and it happened. So Minnesota Timberwolves, 4-piece, 4-0, sent the Phoenix Suns packing. They're currently, from what I know, in Cancun. The Suns just got embarrassed, honestly. We saw the big three in Phoenix didn't really hold up, didn't really do what they thought they would do, when they put them together. And one big reason why the Suns got swept and that happened is because of a man named Anthony Edwards, who, I mean, we've talked about him many times, numerous times on this podcast about how he is one of our favorite players. I think at this point, he's my favorite player in the league, and I don't even think it's close anymore. Anthony Edwards is a bad motherfucker. Oh, when he started doing the DX suck it game 3, I think it was, that sold me. Yeah, no, that was it. Anthony Edwards averaged 31 points, 8 rebounds, a little over 6 assists a game in the first round. Not to discredit stuff that Karl-Anthony Towns and even Rudy Gobert were doing, because it was a team effort. McDaniels locking up the best players on Phoenix. Anthony Edwards said, KD, we got McDaniels. Damn right they had McDaniels, and it seemed like that's all they needed. I just want to get your thoughts on this round, what you saw from Anthony Edwards, the Timberwolves, and also just kind of your thoughts on the Suns and what's going on there. I have my thoughts there, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
Yeah, I mean, to tackle the Timberwolves first, bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo to them getting their first
First
playoff
sweep.
series victory since
That
2004. And yeah, like you said, their first sweep in franchise history. And I mean, I don't even know what else could really be said. Like it was a masterclass performance from what we saw from Ant. Even in game 4, the closeout game, it looked like the Suns were on pace to at least scave off elimination, get one more game at least guaranteed back in Minnesota. But nah, Anthony Edwards had an 8-point first half, and he had like a 31-point second half.
Yeah, he had other plans. Yep.
Like, just his trajectory, how he's going, like I get the vibes that this dude wants to be the face of the
He's a
league, and I
killer.
think he will be. A guy like Jokic, as good as he is, yeah, as good as Jokic is, as good as an Embiid is, I don't think there's a marketability or the type of same swag to those guys like how there is to an Anthony Edwards, who's like, I'm the guy, and I'm going to be the reason why we win. And, he's so good that he made another number 1 pick defer to him in Karl-Anthony Towns, that this brother is the guy, and he's going
He
to be our leader.
sacrificed. Karl-Anthony Towns sacrificed. That was his team. He was supposed to be the face of that franchise. Edwards came in, and Cat was like, I'm okay. I'm okay with him taking the role here because he's that good.
And look at that. That's the number 1 pick. He's in year 9. This isn't like some guy that's still a young player. Karl-Anthony Towns is a veteran player. So I mean, it's insane from what we've seen from Minnesota in terms of growth. They walked the walk and they talked the talk. They did everything that they needed to do in series number one. As for Phoenix, kind of just make this short and sweet, man. I think it was obviously a mishap of judgment on management's part. There's been a lot of rumors flying out of Phoenix as well, with Matt Ishbia,
Not
the
knowing
new
what the
team
hell he's
owner,
doing.
making too many. Yeah, it's like I think some Sun source said it was like Looney
Yeah.
Tunes over there in the desert,
All
which
right,
is
this
like,
is like
yo, you mean to tell me this guy's that big of a joke that you compared it to a
it's like
classic
NBA
cartoon?
2K my
Like
GM.
it's
It's like let's see how many picks we got to throw in and whatever we got to throw in to get the star player. And hey, they did it,
yeah,
but look where it got
yeah.
them.
I mean, look, I believe I don't have the all the logistics of the trades in front of me, but I believe it was 4 first-round total picks for Beal and KD, 6 second-round picks, and 4 pick swaps or whatever it was. So I mean, it was a lot. You sold the farm that you don't have any first-round picks until
Hmm.
2030, and you don't have any second-round picks until like 2031 or whatever it is. So giving up your whole farm to get players that were similar, because Bradley Beal was not a
No,
necessary piece on the team.
absolutely
Him and
not.
Devin Booker, they do the same things. And then Frank Vogel asked for a
They didn't
point
give him
guard,
one.
and you tell him no.
And his ass is
I
about
don't.
to get fired. His ass is about to get shipped out of Phoenix too. So yeah, dude. I mean, just looking back on this Suns season, I mean, I think I said it like there wasn't a point in this season where I looked at them and I was like, this is a contender. Like this is a team that team should be scared of come playoff time. Yeah, they have Kevin Durant. He's an NBA champion. You know what he can give you. Devin Booker, he has his ups and downs, but we know he's a killer. But then you bring in a guy like Bradley Beal, who again, him and Booker are very similar players, and I think their hopes was both of them could bring the ball up the court. Bradley Beal can be that guy. He had some great seasons in Washington. Do not get me wrong; he had the 30-point seasons, but we're talking about Washington here. He didn't. He never proved anything. I'm not trying to disrespect the guy, but it's just like there was nothing no part of that was like that was worth the trade. Like if you wanted to send all that stuff, you go to get another positional player, like maybe another forward, a big man or something like that. But yeah, they gave up their farm, they gave up a lot of depth, and this is where they ended up. I guess the question is if you think they're going to run it back. We kind of talked about this when we played a game last week, and I said, you asked if they're an early exit, should they build around Booker? Can they even do anything? Like, I don't even know if they even like are able to trade anyone, to sign anyone. Nothing.
Here's the thing with Phoenix, and even that question. They have 5 players on roster for next season for the
Mm-hmm.
2024-25 season. Those guys are the big three, as you know: KD, Book, and Beal, Yusuf Nurkic, and Grayson Allen. Out of those 5 guys, only Book, KD, and Nurk could be moved because, hey, Bradley Beal is the only player in the NBA with a no trade clause, and Grayson Allen is a
Just signed the
freshly new contract,
extension.
so I don't think he can be moved until January 15th or whatever the fine print is on that.
They're
So
fucked.
Phoenix's only option,
They're
yeah,
fucked.
they
To be bold about it, they're fucked.
to be bold, yeah, they have a first round pick this year, and this will be their last first round pick until like 2031 or whatever it is. So
They
you
better
could
nail it. They
possibly
better
maybe
hit a home
even play
run
on
with
Booker.
this draft pick.
And what is that going to do for you? What is that really going to do? So their real options is to either A, run it back, or B, see what type of value you can get off of Kevin Durant, or C, move on from your franchise player and Devin Booker. Because Nurkic isn't going to offer you anything. I don't think anybody's really going to try to trade for him. Because guess what? The guy shot 14% in this playoff series, which is terrible. I would
Hey,
have
that's
took
all,
DeAndre
folks.
Ayton had I known you were
That's
going to
all,
come here and do
folks.
that.
Just like he posted. That's all, folks. Yeah, dude. They.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought up Devin Booker because there are some rumors going around of Stephen A. Smith said something about the New York Knicks, him wanting to go to the Knicks. There's some rumors about how the Knicks would give up almost anything to get Devin Booker to pair Brunson and Booker together, which would be incredible. But I also saw this report that Booker wants to be a lifer. He wants to be one of those guys that takes the Kobe route where he stays with one franchise and he brings a championship there. But that's something that could change if he feels like he's not in a position to win. That's not the case right now. I think he still feels like he can win in Phoenix. But the fact that we're even at the point where we're questioning whether or not they should trade Booker to capitalize on just getting anything, that's terrible. They really did put themselves in a hole here, and they're trying. I don't know if they'll be able to dig themselves out of it. Kevin Durant is upset. As soon as the game ended, there was a report that came out saying that he was upset about the offensive, how he wasn't involved in it, like he was being relegated to the corner and stuff, which I'm not disagreeing with, but at the same time, it's a terrible look when that comes out right when the game ends and stuff like that. It's not a good look. And one thing I have here too, I'm not even going to ask you if they think they should fire Frank Vogel. I think we both agree on that. That he's probably he's gonna be the first domino to fall. The coaches are always the first ones to go before you trade anyone. What does this mean for Kevin Durant's legacy? Like, I know it's like a loaded question here, but like if you look back at KD's career, okay, he has the 2 championships with Golden State, couldn't get it done in OKC, goes to Brooklyn, and obviously with all these, there's injuries that happen, things, whatever. Goes to Brooklyn, puts together his super team with Kyrie and James Harden, doesn't get it done. Now he comes to Phoenix. He's with Devin Booker. They get the guy he wants, and they get swept in the first round. Like, I love Kevin Durant. I think he is one of, if not the best offensively gifted player the league has ever seen. I genuinely believe that. But when it comes to legacy and comes to his ability to lead teams and stuff like that, you see a series like this, and yeah, I hate to say, but his legacy takes a big hit.
I think that's what everybody wants to say. That wow, you got swept in the last, I think twice in the
Celtics
last
swept
three or
them
four playoffs or whatever.
2022 when they had the finals run. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So obviously the playoff success after leaving Golden State has not been there. But I mean, his legacy's already cemented. Like, you can't take away
No.
2 championships, and you can't take away 2
And I'm
Finals MVPs. And no matter what anybody wants to say about
no,
his
and
years,
I'm the
no
one.
matter,
I'll be the first one to defend him when it comes to those championships and Finals MVPs because he
yeah,
was the best player on those teams and he
he
deserved those
was
awards.
exactly. And I don't think Warriors fans in particular, are Steph Curry's big supporters and dick riders, don't understand that without Kevin Durant, I don't know if the
I don't
Warriors
know
do
if
win
it's a
another
dynasty
championship. And I
like we
believe,
talk about it now. Mm-hmm.
nah, nah. Cleveland figured them out enough in 2016 to where they won 3 straight games to come back from a 3-1 deficit to win their first NBA title in franchise history. How do you tip the scales in your favor? You add the best player, the second best player in the league,
In credit to
and
them, they
Kevin Durant.
could. Their team was built around guys they drafted, and as soon as a big name free agent came around, they went after him.
Yep.
Any team would have done that. And like going back to
Yep.
the Cavs point, it's like they won in 2016. If Kevin Durant doesn't sign with them that offseason, I think the Cavs goes back to
Cleveland's the
back. I
dynasty.
think they go back to back,
That's
and then in that case, Kyrie might not want to leave because at that point they won 2 in a row. Kyrie left because he didn't want to play behind LeBron. They lost in the finals. In that 2018 finals when it was just LeBron, yeah, if like it was just LeBron, maybe I'd say, okay, I think Golden State could have gotten the upper hand. But I also think Kyrie still would have been there. So again, we're talking a whole different, everyone's legacy changes if that one decision doesn't happen. But Kevin Durant, granted, to give Kevin Durant credit, he went there, became the best player, this and that. But yeah, it's tough seeing this narrative and people talking about Kevin Durant now that this happened. It's a tough look at this moment in time. It is.
I'll say 2 more
Mm-hmm.
things about this. I think one, Kevin Durant is probably the most mercenary like all-star in NBA history, because he really is like that guy that, oh, you want me on your team? I'm there. Golden State gets there, Kyrie goes there, Harden goes there into Brooklyn. Then Devin Booker and him playing for Team USA, and then he ends up in Phoenix. That's one. That is the mercenary for hire. That is KD's new
Mm-hmm.
title in my head. Secondly, this goes to show that super teams, I think we really need to change the definition of what that
Sure.
is exactly. Because the only guy to really pull this off successfully, well, 2 of them really, is obviously LeBron in Miami with D Wade and Bosh, and then KD in Golden State, right, with Steph, Clay, and Dre. Boom. Seamless fits, things that worked out into multiple titles for both guys. But everybody else that seems to try this or do have different mixes, Obviously, there's the situation of having KG and Ray Allen in Boston, but you guys only
Right.
got one title out of that. So
Didn't
it
become, there
doesn't even
wasn't a
have the same
dynasty.
feel.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like super teams itself are just, it's quick, it's microwavable. It's something that I could pop in a quick hungry man meal.
Hamburger
You know,
helper.
I can get it in 2 minutes. Yeah, you know, like something I can just throw in the toss in the microwave and forget about it. And 2 minutes later, I hear the little ping, and I'm ready to eat. As to where super teams, my idea of a super team now is actually the right way to build a team. What we saw Golden State do to build a foundation. Look at the top of the West right now. OKC has a solid foundation of a bunch of draft compensations that paid out over the last few years. Denver, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, MPJ. Then they surrounded that foundation with the KCP, with an Aaron Gordon, and all those other pieces. Look at
Yeah.
Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, Carl Towns, Jaden
Man,
McDaniels.
you bring in
Foundation.
Conley,
Let's put Michael
Gobert.
Conley here.
Exactly. Nas Reed, sixth
You
man
know
of
what
the
I
year,
mean? Like,
baby.
I think super teams are it's dead. We need to fix in our head what exactly that is. I don't think we can call what Phoenix had a super team if they didn't
No.
even make it out of the first round, let alone win a game.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. So we'll close it out here. Phoenix, they got a lot of work to do this offseason. We'll see if they bring back the big three. I think that might be their only option at this point. So we'll see what happens there. But let's move on from a sweep to an unfortunate gentleman's sweep. The Nuggets defeat the Lakers 4-1. The Lakers led for most of the series as far as like minutes and stuff like that. They had double digit leads, and I think every game. But at the end of the day, Jamal Murray hits the game winner to close out the series. Second game winner of the series. Just Denver proved to be too much for Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and the Lakers. Jerry, I know you look like you have so much to say right now, so I'm just going to leave the floor to you. Talk to me. Talk to me about the Lakers.
Honestly, I don't really have too much to say, man. I
Besides,
mean,
fuck Darvin
at
Ham.
the end of the day, not even, man. Like I think I'm not even gonna really kill Darvin Ham. I think sure there's some adjustments or other little ticky tack things that we could point out about his coaching style. Is he the best coach in the league? No, far from it. But I think he is somewhere in the middle of the pack to where at the end of the day, the Lakers just didn't show up when it really mattered. And when that mattered is clutch time. Where, like you mentioned, I think the stats something like the Lakers led for 141 minutes compared to Denver's like
Yeah.
30 to
Yeah,
40. I
something
forgot
along
what it
those
was. And
lines.
then they were tied for a total of 14 minutes. Like all those things took place in the fourth quarter when there was the collapse, where there was the meltdown, because a 20-point lead was given up in this series by the Lakers, a 10-point lead, a 13-point lead, a 3-point lead. We've literally had the lead each time after going into halftime. And no matter what it was, everybody in the building, everybody at home probably knew Denver's like they're off right now, sure. They're kind of playing with their food a little bit, but let's turn it on now. Come fourth quarter time,
They
we
know
knew
when
what
to
was
flip the
happening. And
switch.
Jamal Murray hit two big shots to put one to get out of Denver unscathed and with no losses, and then another to actually put us away in Game 5. So, it's inconsistency from D'Lo, and Austin Reeves didn't have the best series until his last game. LeBron and AD can only do but so much, and which, by the way, Anthony Davis getting hurt in the shoulder in Game
Yeah,
5
brutal.
definitely shut down any type of chance that I feel like the Lakers had. But I don't really have too much to say about it, man. Denver, I think the better team won. I think Denver is probably the most vulnerable that we've seen them in the last 2 years, though, because the Lakers definitely had the firepower to, even with the roster constructed, to actually beat those guys. This Denver team is not as good as they were last year. So we'll talk about what's going to
Yep.
happen in the next series, but I got to hear your
Yeah,
thoughts.
I mean, I'm the better team won. I mean, there wasn't really a point where I thought the Lakers were going to win this series. Sorry, it's just you look at both rosters, and it's like you get what you can out of LeBron and AD, and they both did show up this series. AD had monster performances. LeBron was doing the best he could for a 39-year-old man. But it's just a supporting cast. That's just what it comes down to. And I will say, I do think Darvin Ham's getting fired. I'm just going to put that out there. But this is, I think, one of the best exit quotes and one of the best quotes I think you could ever hear from a head coach when it comes down to just like trying to defend yourself and throwing your team under the bus. He goes, if you're coaching a team and one of your starters is like 10 games in a row just shitting the bed, what are you going to do? Is he wrong? No, I don't think he's telling the truth. It's just funny that he's just outright saying, like
And you
talking about
know who he's
D'Lo.
talking about. You
D'Lo
know who's
said, like,
saying.
Darvin Ham talking about believing in you, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I appreciate that, but I don't need anyone to believe in me but myself. Like, you can tell there's some
Like,
bad
dude,
blood there. I think Darvin Ham just kind of lost the locker room. You saw LeBron's reaction, his facial expressions to him during some points of the games when Darvin Ham wouldn't challenge the play where it went out of bounds. They said it was off the Lakers, but it was off Denver. LeBron's freaking out and stuff like that. Darvin didn't do anything about it. Ended up leading to an easy two. Granted, LeBron didn't do his part to get back on defense, but still. I just don't think they didn't put it together. I just don't think they had enough pieces, and they went up against the defending champs. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? So I guess the
bad
next
matchup.
question I have for you is what happens to LeBron? There's rumors he's going to be a free agent for the first time since 2018. He hasn't. There's no signs of him signing an extension right now, even though Lakers will be willing to give him the max extension. Is LeBron playing in LA next year? What do you think? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not really too worried about that. I mean, sure, there should be some cause to pause on my part to think that he really could leave LA, but let's just list out some things about his reality. His family's out there. He has multiple businesses out there. I believe like he shoots like uninterrupted things out there, like
Mm-hmm.
with the barbershop, with the shop talk and stuff like that. JJ Redick podcast out there. His son is out. His family's out. There's so much in LA for him at this point. And one thing about him about anybody, obviously, we're not 39 or 40 years old, respectively. But I can imagine as you age, you probably don't really want to move
Yeah,
around as much.
definitely.
He's about to be 40 come December or whatever it is. It's like, dude, I really don't foresee him leaving. Even with the Bronny incentive that's there,
And that's not
we
even
saw the Lakers are talking about
a
this.
priority anymore. Him playing with his son, apparently, which I don't think it should have ever been a priority. It's a cool idea, but that's not something
No.
that he should have to prioritize. Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's going to retire in LA. Not kind of like maybe he'll sign like a 1 day return to Cleveland or something like that. But like I think he's going to close
Yeah.
out his career in LA. He's got everything there. They just have to put a better roster around him. That's what it comes down to, and we'll see if they do that this offseason. But so Timberwolves, Nuggets both win their matchups. They're both facing off in the second round. What do we have? What are we predicting here, Jerry? How do you think the round's going to go?
Oh. I'm going bold, man. I'm going bold. I'm picking against
I
the
like
defending
it.
champs. I mean, let's face it. Like, I rolled with my Lakers. That was just pride. Like, it was like, man, I'm a Laker fan. I gotta choose them in 7. But I kind of knew it was
Mm-hmm.
inevitable that we were gonna lose that series. And this one, with Denver versus Minnesota, they got the size, they got
They
the
got the
dog.
dog.
I'm rocking with the I'm
Yeah,
rocking with the Timberwolves, man. I think it comes to where Jokic is still gonna be the
for
best
sure.
player on the floor. But what I need Minnesota to do in order to really speed this up, we saw LA do it late in the series to where let's double Jokic and we really will we'll show the double team and we'll let KCP or Christian Brown or whoever just beat us at that point. But we can't let him bully our 7-foot Anthony Davis into the hole every time, which you will see him do against Rudy Gobert. We'll probably get in foul trouble. So you can show a Carl Towns because he'll likely be
Yep.
guarding Aaron Gordon. Yes, Aaron Gordon's a great cutter. He's a great slasher, but you have to show another body at Jokic as soon as he touches the ball. Pick him up 94 feet. Put a body on him the whole time. I'm not going to let him be comfortable or dribble the ball up the floor. And they have the defensive personnel to do that, which
Yep.
even in a game where Devin Booker dropped 49 points in the closeout game that Minnesota beat them, it didn't even matter because everybody else on the floor is uncomfortable. So Minnesota has the pieces, the personnel to make that shit crazy. I do think missing out on Chris Finch though, who
Hate to see
tore his
that.
patella,
Hate to
have to
see
get
that.
it's insane. I hope that doesn't have a huge impact on this series, but I'm picking the Wolves in 7, man. I feel confident that the Timber again. I said it in the last segment. This is the worst that Denver's been in these last 2 years.
I
So
love it. I love it. I
yeah, no,
respect it. I think the Wolves have more of that dog mentality. I think we're gonna see who wants it more this series. I think Minnesota really wants it. I think they're drinking the the doubters, the tears of the doubters and stuff like that. A lot of people were doubting them going into the playoffs. Rudy Gobert has been the butt of jokes for years. People saying he's the most overrated player in the league. He doesn't deserve these awards and this and that. And then look what he does in the first round, dude. He's fucking locking guys down. Jaden McDaniels. Mike Conley, the veteran leadership, and then Karl-Anthony Towns, like you said, being guarded by Aaron Gordon. I think we're going to see huge series from both Cat and Edwards. I don't think there's anyone on the Nuggets that can guard Edwards. Jokic is going to be the biggest problem. You got enough defensive guys. I think there's one team in the West that is built to compete and beat the Nuggets. It is the Timberwolves. It is the
no,
Timberwolves. They have the
no.
personnel, and we mentioned all those guys, and I said them earlier. Naz Reid, sixth man of the year. He's a huge factor as well. I think they have the pieces to do it. Do I think they're going to do it? I'm going to be on the safe side and say no. I do think Denver is going to win this series. I do think it'll be a 7-game series, 7 games, 6 games minimum. I do think the Nuggets, because we said earlier, they know when to flip the switch. I think I think when you watch it, you're going to see, the Minnesota really wants this. But I think the Nuggets have that championship experience. Jokic is the best player in the world. I think they'll still find a way to get past Minnesota. And it'll be tough because they're going to wear them out. And I think if Denver does make it back to the NBA Finals, they're going to have to go through some dogfights to get there. But I'm going to go Denver, but I really like Minnesota. And it wouldn't shock me if they won. I'm not saying like Denver's the clear-cut favorite, like they're going to win, like there's no doubt. I do think Minnesota can win this series, but I'm just going to be on the safer side and go against you and say Denver.
Hey, put this in your mind too, though. Jamal Murray does have a long time to rest
Mm-hmm.
until Game 1, but he
He
was
was. He was
questionable in that
wrapped
game
up
against
like
Boston.
crazy pregame, 100%. Yeah, so they're not
So
completely 100%, but
they're gonna need him to be as close to 100% because I don't think people understand. Jamal Murray come playoff time is what we thought about LeBron come playoff time. Jamal
he's
Murray
that guy.
is he's Black Jesus. He's Black Jesus come playoff time. All right, and without him, I don't think they beat LA. I think LA actually could have beat them in that series. Jamal Murray playing is literally such a huge X factor. With him possibly being hobbled, I know he has damn near a week to recover. That's
Man,
something to
the
keep an eye
West
on. It's
Coast
just something
hates
to
their
watch.
Canadians, Jamal Murray and Drake. Tough time to be a Canadian right now, going up against the West Coast. But yeah, I think that's going to be honestly probably one of the most exciting series of the entire playoffs. I can't wait to
Yes,
watch them go off. It's
that's
showtime.
the real
And
that's
we
the real
saw
weapon.
Anthony Edwards. His stats I mentioned earlier: 31, 8-6. This series, we're going to see we're going to really see a star being born here. I can't wait.
I don't know. I don't know who you're gonna put on Anthony Edwards. You putting KCP,
Mm-hmm.
he's getting cooked. Jamal
Yeah,
Murray getting cooked.
yeah. He
Good
might he
luck.
might average
Good
35 a game
luck.
this series. It's gonna be
And let's
electric. I
go.
can't wait. All right,
Give me the
give me
young
the Young
bucks.
Bucks. Absolutely. Let's move on. We're just gonna go West Conference playoff matchups, then move to the East. Just to keep it consistent. Mavs Clippers series tied 2-2 right now. Just trading games. Kawhi Leonard's missed 3 games. That knee injury. He came back game 2, but then he's missed the last 2. I don't know what his status is for game 5. But yeah, no, I mean, we both said that. I think we both predicted this, that this is going to be a 7-game series. It's going to come down to the last possession of game 7. Just 2 teams loaded with all-stars, legends, teams with high expectations. I guess just like now it's a best of 3 series. Like, what do you expect to see the rest of the series? Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, they're obviously carrying the load for Dallas here. Luka Doncic is saying that he feels like he's letting Kyrie Irving down, even though he's averaging almost a damn near 30-point triple double in this series. Just what are your thoughts of what you've seen so far and what you expect to see from these teams the rest of the way?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's we were talking about dogfights with what's about to be in Minnesota and Denver, right? But this is the clash of like the 2010s greatest hits right there. Like it's it's a lot. It's a lot just going on with
Yeah.
that series. But I mean, hey, PG and Harden have been leading the
Harden's been
pack with
really
Kawhi
well.
gone.
He's been playing super well.
Yeah, but I think I'm still going to lean on the Mavs getting this done, man. I think a duo of Kyrie and Luca is better than a duo of PG and Harden at this points in their careers. So I mean, I'm going to hang 10 toes down again. I agree. Like you said, we talked about this when we first previewed the series at the start. It's going to come down to the very last possession of Game 7, probably. So I'm gonna stick with Luca. Like him saying that he let him down in a game where Kyrie Irving dropped 40
Yeah.
points
Mm-hmm.
is ridiculous. And Luca did he could have been better that game. So I'm expecting him to turn himself around. And hey, Luca is the best player on the team, right? So show me that you can do
Yeah.
that for the rest of the series. So I'm still riding with the
Yeah,
Mavs. They
especially
need
with
to
no
go.
Kawhi. I mean, they've won games without him,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I think the Mavericks, the star power of Kyrie and Luca, will end up being too much. And I think him saying that, one, very humble of him, Luca, to say that, feel like he's letting Kyrie down, even though we know that's not the truth. I think we're going to see some Luca magic these last few games, whether it's 2 or 3 games. The Clippers do have home court advantage. They're at home tonight. What's today's date? May 1st. It's going to be May. I'm not going to do the Justin Timberlake impression there. That'll sound terrible. Playing in LA tonight, then they're going to go back to Dallas, and if it goes game 7 back to LA. But with no guarantees of Kawhi, it's hard for me to pick them over the Mavs. I also just think I think the Mavs are the more, I don't want to say more complete team. It's like we kind of talked about this. The Clippers really just had so many ups and downs this season's injuries, just not being able to fully put it together when like everyone's healthy and stuff. So I just think I'm with you. I think the Mavericks are just going to end up taking this. I think they got the better duo, the better team. I think. And I think that's just what it's going to come down to. So another great series. I mean, it's been fun to watch. Games have been close and stuff like that. We've seen some big time shots. Kyrie Irving continues to prove to everyone and back up my stance that he's probably the most skilled player to ever touch a basketball. That finish he had with 4 guys around him underneath the basket is one of the craziest
Oh my
one of the
gosh.
craziest layups I've ever seen in my life.
Kobe-esque.
Insane,
Kobe-esque
absolutely
with it, man.
insane. So
Crazy.
see what happens there tonight, and next week we'll be talking about who moves on to the second round. And talking about moving on to the second round, the Thunder swept the Pelicans. Zion Williamson didn't play. The number one seed did what they had to do. They didn't play with their food. They took care of business. And yeah, they took care of the Pelicans. Lou Dort was putting Brandon Ingram through motherfucking hell. He had him in prison all 4 games, bro. I don't know if you were seeing any of the highlights or got to catch any of it, but man, oh man, he had made Brandon Ingram look like me when I'm playing basketball. Not good. Not good. So yeah, Thunder move on. Yeah, what do you got to say? I honestly really don't have much to add. I feel bad, but I don't really have anything to
Yeah.
say.
It's like it's really not much, man. Like with Zion, maybe you have a better chance to win a few games, maybe even upset them. But
Yeah.
no Zion, hopeless. No
Yeah, if you
chance.
if
So
you
terrible.
thought, I mean, probably the only people that maybe had faith that the Pelicans could win were Pelicans fans themselves. I don't think there was anyone else in America that thought Pelicans would beat the Thunder here. But again, took care of business. Moving on to the next round, they will face either the Clippers or the Mavs. So good thing for the Thunder, they have some off time now. You can kind of look at it like, oh, it's like they're gonna have too much time off. They get a little rusty or something like that. Like, no, they have some time off. They're young.
They're
They're gonna
young.
rest up.
They're
They'll be
good.
good. All right, moving on to the Eastern Conference. Well, I think a few of these we can kind of get through pretty quick. The Celtics, Celtics are up 3-1. Game 5 is tonight as well. They gave up game 2. They gave up game 2, a historical shooting night from Miami, hitting 23 threes, but that was due to Boston playing god-awful defense. Let me tell you something. My girlfriend almost threw me out of the apartment that night because I was going ballistic because Miami was doing the same thing every single play. They finished a little over 100 points, 23 threes. That's quick math, 69 points. Very nice. And then Bam Adebayo would do this thing where he'd set screens, roll to the paint, and either take floaters or a mid-range, and he had almost 20. They were just doing the same thing the whole game. Boston couldn't adjust. Their defense couldn't adjust. Joe Mazzulla was looking like my 8th grade basketball coach when we went 0-14 my 8th grade year. It was just a bad performance overall from everyone. The Tatum and Brown looked good. They had good offensive performances, but they let go of game 2. They come back games 3 and 4 with victories. But the biggest thing to come out of the last game, game 4, is Kristaps Porzingis going down with what is now we've found out as a calf strain. It's more specifically I want to pull this up. There's a term for it, which it's not loading right now. It's a calf strain. Same thing that Giannis is dealing with right now. 1 to 3 week window.
Yeah.
Definitely not coming back this series. In my opinion, I mean, he shouldn't come back next series, even if he feels like he's healthy enough. I really think they should wrap him in bubble wrap, given his injury history. He had a calf injury, a hamstring injury this year. Granted, this is the other side. This is a different calf. Kristaps is, if you're going to win a championship, you brought in Kristaps to help you win a championship. You got to protect him. So thank God it was nothing more than a calf injury, because when it happened, because he got hit a few plays before, he was limping, staying in the game, and it was non-contact. When you see non-contact, you immediately think ACL, you think Achilles, and I was, again, me and my girlfriend were watching, and I just, like, she looked over, she was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "No." Like, after like 10 minutes of me not talking, she was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm not. Like, I'm actually like depressed right now." I was like, if he's not healthy, like, I don't know. Like, I'm still have faith in them, but like, that's a big piece. And then later on in the game, Jason Tatum, I'm not going to get into whether it was dirty or not or intentional or not, but Jason Tatum almost had an injury scare with his ankle. Bam, kind of closing in on him after the whistle. Not going to get into it. I said some things on my Twitter that people weren't too happy about. Some people were agreeing. Some people did not like what I had to say, but it's my opinion. The Celtics go up 3-1, heading into Boston, can close it out. What are your thoughts on the series, Jerry, the injuries and stuff? Enough of me. Enough about me. I want to hear you.
Oh man, that was.
Trust me, I could keep going. I'm not trying to have this be over an hour like last week. I gotta preserve some time here.
Yeah, no. I definitely get it, man. I mean, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I think Boston doesn't need to rush KP back for anything as well. I definitely agree there. However, I do think in the Eastern Conference Finals, whether that be the Knicks you're playing or I don't know, whoever, it's still kind of scary that I know you guys need KP to at least get over the hump in the NBA Finals. And if he's not going to be ready by then, assuming that you guys get there, it's going to be some serious shit going on. But nah, you definitely don't need him for the rest of this Miami Heat series. It should be, you guys should be able to take care of business just fine. Jason Tatum needs to wake up a little bit. I think that offense in general has been very, very
Derek White, talk about a guy that wants his money this offseason. He is getting it.
He's saving. He saved y'all face because Tatum and Brown don't.
Miami does something to them, bro. They have them figured out. They do. I mean, like, Tatum's not getting as many looks and shots off as he usually does, but his percentages aren't that good either. No, they're not.
And with no Jimmy Butler, you guys should have swept this.
Yeah, we should be talking about them. We should be talking about them moving on to the next round right now. You're absolutely right. But hopefully they figure it out tonight. Hopefully they do what the Bruins couldn't do last night and end things at home, close the series at home. But this isn't a hockey podcast, but I won't get into it. But oh yeah,
I actually watched that yesterday.
I went to a bar and I watched the first quarter and a half of it. Yeah, and then they lost lost in overtime. Brutal. But so hopefully the Celtics close out in Boston tonight, make up for it. All right, and then we'll move on. Knicks Sixers. Knicks are up 3-2. Heading into Philly. I can't believe the series is still going on. I'll be completely honest with you. I thought this was going to be a gentleman's sweep. I thought this could have just been a sweep in general. But, man, I think what we're seeing here is, one, Jalen Brunson has picked it up. He had a terrible start to the postseason, but he's had some unbelievable performances where he had like 40 and 10, at least 40 and 10. in game 4, I believe. Game 3 or 4. I could get that wrong. And then what we've also seen is Tyrese Maxey is that guy. Embiid is also that guy, but we know that he is not 100%, even though he had 50 points for fucking out of nowhere. Had 50 points, but Tyrese Maxey last night single-handedly kept the Sixers season alive. The kids, the last 7 points in 30 seconds or something like that. Absolutely just did everything he could to send the Sixers to Game 6. Now that that's in Philly, who knows what could happen? We could be seeing a Game 7 in New York, and that would be absolutely hectic. And it kind of brings me back, Tyrese Maxey. There was this, it kind of got resurfaced of, it was an anonymous GM or whoever it was that said Tyrese Maxey, how untouchable he is. Prime Michael Jordan, you want prime Michael Jordan? If Tyrese Maxey on the table, hanging up the phone. LeBron James, young LeBron in Cleveland, absolutely not. All these star players, like Tyrese Maxey, untouchable. Like he is, Embiid is Embiid, we know that. But man, when you need Maxey to step up, he is that guy, dude. He's really fucking good. He's really fucking good.
Yeah, it was a masterclass performance from him last night. Like, he saved their season in a matter of 30 seconds with a 4-point play and then another big shot to tie up the game, to send them to overtime and obviously close it out. I think we might need to reconsider who the faces of the league are, who's at least in line for that, because he actually might have a legit shot.
He could be in that conversation, 100%.
Just think about what he's done, like in the regular season, with a couple 50 balls, throughout the season, and then a 46-point performance, which is actually tied for the most in the Garden in a playoff game since MJ for an opposing team. So it's like Tyrese is. I don't like the conversation about him being the Batman of like the Embiid because of what Embiid is, but he's not healthy right now. So damn sure
he's Batman, 100%. Tyrese is Batman. He's the Christian Bale Batman, not that Ben Affleck bullshit either. Yeah, dude. I mean, he's electric. He's awesome to watch, and when he's going, Sixers have a chance. They have a chance to win if he's going. So yeah, it'd be interesting to watch. The series isn't over. Like I said, they're in Philly for Game 6. Who knows what can happen there? And then you go to New York, Game 7. Woo!
Dr. J tweeted out the fans to pull up to Philly and show them what's up, because New York overran the Wells Fargo Center before. So
you're picking up 100%. So yeah, that's going to be electric. I can't wait for that. Moving on to the next series, Cavaliers Magic. Turned into an interesting series. Last time we talked, the Cavs were up 2-0. The Magic back in Orlando win 2 straight at home. Cavs go back to Cleveland. They get the win. So far, it's the home teams that are winning. So if we continue with this trend, they're back in Orlando for Game 6.
Game 7.
Paulo Banchero is also showing to the world that he is that guy. First playoff series, he has had some big performances, has been doing a lot for that team. Same with Franz Wagner as well. What do you see here? I mean, I think at this point, it's just going to be the home team advantage. Like I would love to see Orlando win Game 6 because there's no better, the 2 best words in basketball and 2 best words in sport, Game 7. I want a Game 7 between these 2 teams, even though the home team's been winning. Comes down to Game 7, it's anyone's game. But so far, the home teams are getting the upper hand here. So I would like to see Orlando win Game 6, and then we'll see what happens in Game 7.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think it's definitely going 7 games, and at that point, you kind of want to side with the home team, right? Like 70% chance for them probably to win that game, but Paulo did put up 39.
Yeah, that last play of the game when Wagner took the layup, Mobley blocked him. Paul was wide open for 3, brother. He was wide open, and when you have 39 points, it's kind of it's a head scratcher. It's like, why didn't you give him the ball there? But they'll have a chance to make up for it.
Young team
have a chance to make up for it. See what happens in Orlando. But yeah, this series turned out. It went from us being the most boring series to one of the most exciting. So we'll see what happens Game 6. And last series, I know we're 45 minutes in. We're finally getting to the last series of the first round. Bucks Pacers. The Pacers are up 3-2. And a big reason why Damian Lillard is now hurt as well. He had the what sore Achilles was it? It's
Achilles.
sore Achilles. So
Yep.
he sat out a few games. Doc Rivers said that both Giannis and Lillard are very, very close to coming back. I don't know if I trust any words that come out of Doc Rivers' mouth. I don't know how truthful he is there. But yeah, so Pacers are up 3-2. They could have closed it out last night. Chris Middleton has been giving the Pacers some problems. In 3 games, he's averaging almost 30 points, or maybe even over 30 points, leading the team in points and rebounds. Really putting the team on his back here. They're going back to Indiana for game 6. Another chance to close it out. We'll see if Giannis and Lillard play, but just assuming Giannis and Lillard don't play, I mean, I think that the Pacers need to end this. Like, listen, if you're going up against the
Yeah.
Bucks, I know Middleton's doing his thing. Malik Beasley, one of the better shooters in the league. Brooke Lopez, defensive presence. I get all that. You gotta beat them. You gotta beat them. You have this. You have this gift wrap. You
The
have
hope
this
is,
series gift wrapped to you in a bow and a little card saying to
yeah.
Indiana, "Good luck in the second round." You gotta take advantage of this.
The Pacers are definitely, they're driving this bus right now, like in this series where they
Mm-hmm.
literally have it in the palm of their hand. It is up to them to finish it off, and it couldn't be any more of a gift for the 2
It's
best
one thing with
players
Giannis. Now
not to
you
be
get
playing.
Dame. Like,
Obviously,
come on, come on.
this this is supposed to happen. Chris Middleton and Bobby
Bobby
Portis
Portis got
should not
ejected
be killing you
too.
right
He
now.
got ejected earlier in the game. What are we
Yeah,
doing? You gotta take advantage. I don't get
yeah.
it. You gotta take
Like
advantage of it.
was it like game? It was like game 3 or game 4, whatever. He
Yeah,
got ejected and costed them one. And then he comes back last night and drops 29. And then Patrick
yeah.
Beverly
He had
has
a double
10 plus
double.
assists.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
let's come back down to earth. Like Rick Carlisle is a veteran head coach in this league. Has been around for a very long time. He knows something about closing teams out.
Yeah.
Won a title in 2011 with Dallas. It's time to put the stamp on this thing and move on. Because you should not be in this position right now where you have to go back to Indiana for a game 6. If they win that game and Giannis or Dame happen to
My
come back
money's
for
on
game 6 or
Milwaukee.
7,
Yeah.
my money's on. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
It's
I'm just saying. I picked Indiana to win initially, but I didn't think it'd draw out
yeah.
this long.
No,
I'm scared now.
the Pacers are they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot here. They need to figure it out. They can't let this series
Yeah.
go to waste because this is the best opportunity they'll have to make it past the second round and stuff. And again, Milwaukee loses. That's a huge team that's out of the championship picture. So we'll see what happens. But all right, that is a playoff wrap up. Holy shit, 47 minutes in. Let's close it out. We have one last topic
Yeah.
here. We didn't get a chance to talk about too much last week because we really talked about the playoffs over an hour. I'm going to let you kind of take the reins on this one because he is interviewing for your Charlotte Hornets. JJ Redick is interviewing to be the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets as well as a Celtics assistant Lee. He is also I think they both had 2 interviews or something like that. But just kind of what are your thoughts there? I mean, mostly you could talk about who you think the Hornets should hire and stuff, but just kind of give me your thoughts on JJ Redick in general and like what you think. Can he be a good head coach, whether it's in Charlotte or anywhere else?
Yeah, I definitely think. I think he has all the intangibles and all the smarts, right? After playing for 15 years in the league, and it's not like he's just been sitting on the couch chilling. The guy has been entertaining us on ESPN. He's been entertaining us with his Old Man in the Three podcast. Then he opens up probably the worldwide favorite right now in basketball with Mind the Game with LeBron James. So he talks the game at a very high level, and I learn a shit ton of stuff no matter where I see him, no matter what platform. I learn something from him every time. So I think he could definitely make a good head coach. I'm not really so much worried about experience and all that, how other people are, because hey, guys get jobs for a lot less
Sure.
in a lot of different sports. So no disrespect to Charles Lee, I think
You
he'll
know, he
be a
can
good
stay in
candidate
Boston.
somewhere as well.
No,
But
keep him around.
I am definitely pro JJ. Plus, I think we've seen a lot of first year head coaches get thrusted into very bad situations. Like Steve Nash jumps to mind automatically, right? Situation where Brooklyn was not the most ideal. Even for Darvin Ham, being thrusted into a situation in LA, which the
Mm-hmm.
expectations are always title or bust. It's a failed
No, you go to
season
Charlotte.
if you don't bring home a chip. We don't hang banners. Yeah. We
Uh-huh.
don't hang banners for qualifying. for the playoffs. We don't hang banners. I don't know why they did
Do you see
that
what
bullshit ass
the
in-season
LA mayor
tournament.
said? They're like, tough end to the season, but at least they won the in-season tournament. Yeah, at least they
So
won the in-season
it was
tournament.
so it was that's such a Clipper thing to say, like it's so
Yeah, tough
bad.
luck.
It was so bad, man. But I think JJ's in a perfect situation where the Charlotte Hornets don't have any expectations. We've been bad for the last 4 to 5 years because of injury, because of coaching, whatever. Cliff has been great. On to a new regime. I think it's easy enough for a first-year head coach to usher himself in with a young star in LaMelo Ball, who's 22 years old. Brandon Miller, not even old enough to drink
And you
yet.
got another. You're gonna get
Miles
another top
Bridges,
pick this
Mark
year,
Williams, like
hopefully.
it's damn near perfect. Like some people's like I wrote an article about it and people hate it. Like, oh wow, I don't know how you're endorsing this to be a good idea. He's not taking over superstar personalities. Like, sure you could say LaMelo, but he's not established as a
Yeah,
superstar quite yet in this
he's
league
got a
because of the
sick new
injuries.
back tattoo though.
That gives him a chance
He
to,
spent a lot of VC. Spent a whole
yeah.
lot of
It's
VC on those tattoos.
hey man, I don't give a damn what that kid does off the court as long
Fair
as he
enough.
comes back ready for the season to play
Fair enough.
healthy and all. So I'm pro JJ though. I think JJ should be the favorite. It's the sexier name of the two. It also gives Charlotte a lot of publicity moving forward by bringing not a Carolina native in JJ, but he did go to Duke, so it kind of feels like a good
I
welcome
saw
home
this
story in my head.
tweet that was like a theory that the reason why the LeBron and JJ are doing the podcast is so LeBron is kind of prepping him to be the next head coach
Yeah,
of the Lakers, which I don't believe, but I thought that was pretty funny. Um,
it was Rashad McCants on
yeah, no,
Gilbert
anything
Arenas
Gilbert
podcast.
Arenas
Like,
related, I don't
dude,
take it. I take all that with a grain of salt. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I think JJ Redick. I mean, I think it's something to be said about former players. I just think when it comes to like analysts, analyzing games and stuff, I kind of like value their opinions a little bit more than like Stephen A. Smith is great. I think he's
absolutely.
entertainment and everything like that, but I prefer an opinion of a guy that's actually played the game, that knows that the ins and the outs.
And
And he's
Stephen A.
been in
would
the
Stephen A. would say
guys
the
that have
same
been in the
thing.
locker
He'd
room and
agree with you.
have experience. And JJ Redick is one smart dude. He is like I'm not gonna go in circles and repeat what you said, but he's a smart dude. I think he's definitely someone that, given the right opportunity, right situation, I think could really do well. And I think a team like Charlotte, where you don't have expectations, they're so young, you're trying to build a culture there. You bring in a young rookie head coach like JJ, who again, like smart guy, has been in the league, played 15 years. I think that's a good match. So now I guess it's a matter of who the Hornets want and who wants the job, whether it's Charles Lee or it's JJ Redick. So that's what we have to see now. But it seems like you give JJ the stamp of approval.
I mean,
No, I
Charles
bet
Lee
he
would be
would, but
great
I
too,
don't think
though.
you should
Like,
take him.
I'm
No. Keep it. Get the new guy. Get the new guy.
hey, I either get a 15-year NBA vet that I get to talk to post game, or I
You
get
can't
another
go
brother.
wrong.
Like,
You can't go wrong.
who
Can't go
me?
wrong with either. But all right. Think that is all we have for episode 35, sitting courtside. I think that's all. Do you have anything you want to throw in? Anything you want to add, say, before we close out?
No, usually I definitely have something to say, but we've been
We
running
got to move
running, so
on to
I'm good.
some
I'm good.
games. We got some trivia, some all these things that we're going to be putting out for you guys this week on the short section. So make sure to keep your eye out for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you are on YouTube, please make sure to like, subscribe, put in the comments, talk about what your favorite playoff matchup has been, what your expectations are for your favorite team, and what you just predictions moving forward and stuff like that. If you're an audio only listener, thank you. Give us a 5-star rating, like, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Follow us on our socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Everything is in the bio, so you can just check that out there. And yeah, until next time, we'll see. We'll be here talking about more playoffs. Till then, deuces.